What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Look, man, I gotta bring this out for all of the people who don't know the difference between the inside voice and the outside voice. They don't even know that there's such a thing as an inside voice and an outside voice. A lot of people have this thing in their mind where um, they don't know how to speak to people. They don't know how to speak in certain situations, certain environments. It might be an environment that requires you to be less over the top, less loud, less whatever. And some people just have no concept of that. So they'll walk inside anywhere and just loud and talking and talking and talking. And it's one thing to be loud. It's another thing for your content, what you're talking about, to be out of pocket. Um, there's a such thing called etiquette, environmental etiquette. I put the environment, I made that part up. But environmental etiquette, meaning that whatever environment you're in, you have a feel of knowing. It's like when you walk in the library. When you walk in the library, we've been programmed and conditioned that you don't talk loud in the library. Some people don't have that understanding. They'll walk right in the library. Hey, so who I get a card from? Who I get a, they don't really understand. Then you have other people who they do understand, but they have this thought in their mind that if they are asked to filter themselves or asked to tone it down, then it's somehow a reflection of it's somehow um, somebody's disrespecting their manhood or womanhood. That's somebody's telling them what to do as a man. Man, I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. I talk how I want to talk when I want to talk. It's my mouth. Can't nobody tell me how to talk. Blah, 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 blah. That's something in my mind that's rooted in something that happened a long time ago. If you are of adult age, but you still have to at every turn prove to people or acknowledge to everybody that you're a grown man or woman, even if it means um, being disrespectful or being loud or obnoxious in a certain setting simply because I'm grown. Um, it's still a thing called just basic general respect that you would want and that you are obligated to give everybody else off the muscle, just like they obligated to give it to you off the muscle. So it's never a good situation when you see that person. They walking through the grocery store, they on their phone, they loud, they just cussing and talking crazy. And, it's like, and they've included everybody in the grocery store in their conversation. And sometimes, um, for example, you may be standing there with your 3-year-old son or your 5-year-old daughter, and this person standing right next to you, they just letting it fly. They just talking as wild and as crazy and as loud and as raunchy as they want to talk. And God forbid you say, "Hey, excuse me, bro. Excuse me, sis. Can you? I got my youngsters here, man. Can you kind of?" As polite as that came off, it's gonna be taken as the most disrespectful thing that you could ever say to a person if that person is wired up in the way that we're talking about right now. Because somewhere down the line, like I say, they either haven't been taught and came up in environments like that, or they know better. They just got this thing in their mind. You're not gonna filter me. And I ain't talking about. See, it's really being used at the wrong times, because if you got a situation where it's an injustice being carried out, it's an issue taking place, some social stuff taking place where you are required to speak out. Some of the people who are the loudest, most ignorant in the wrong settings are quiet as a mouse when it's the right time for you to step up and say something. But then again, sometimes everybody ain't qualified to speak on our behalf in those situations. So there's that. But I ain't talking about the woke side, and I'm talking about the ignorant side. But it's nothing worse in the world, man. And y'all may know, y'all may understand. It's nothing worse in the world than being around somebody who's like that in a public setting. You done took somebody out to a restaurant and they getting belligerent and loud with the hostess, with the waiter, the waitress. Yeah, I want to see the manager. The manager come out, you just over nothing. Or they're loud in the restaurant and they're the only one. They don't understand. This ain't that kind of place. You know, nothing worse than that. And except when you explain that to them, they still own it. Or they ramp up harder because of what I just mentioned to you earlier. So we got to learn the difference between our inside voice, our outside voice, when it's the right time to say something, when it's not the right time to say something, and just general respect in certain situations. Youngster on the bus, just playing the song, playing this rap music real loud, but he's singing all the words, and these are the worst words ever written and ever conceived out of the mind of a man or a woman. Just you spitting it just loud, and you got this elderly grandmother sitting right next to you. It's things like that that we have to be aware of and work on trying to correct as we move forward, because some of the same people who would have a problem being told about themselves in those situations, no matter how respectful, those same people would have an issue if the shoe was on the other foot. And if somebody was going in and talking totally unfiltered around their grandmother, around their mother, around their children, they would totally go off. Some of them. Some of them might not. Some of them, it might just be the norm. But for the most part, a lot of times people who have certain ways, they are unapologetic about their ways, but they would be totally against it if those same type of ways were being projected on them by somebody else. That's how we are. So y'all may know somebody like this, or even worse, you might be somebody like this. But either way, man, let's try to gain a little more self awareness and have more of a respectful acknowledgement of people around us. And even if you don't want to do it for the people, do it for yourself. Just do it for yourself. I mean, I don't need to know everything that happened in your day, and I'm standing in line in the grocery store next. I don't need to know all that. And then that's not to say don't talk, but just keep it at a respectful tone. This is good information for you. Might sound simple, but this is absolutely beneficial. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. I will catch y'all with another one real soon. Make sure y'all catch us this weekend, man. We got shows in Eagle Lake. We will be in Eagle Lake. I'll put the information in the description. Y'all come see us in Eagle Lake, Texas. And peace and love.